about you is that you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one on day 2 of free agency. I said I wouldn't start getting critical until after 48 hours the window has been open. We are now at about 29 and a half hours, and your boy isn't a fan of the fact that Lyle Collins doesn't have his first visit with us, and where he's going for his first visit with the Cincinnati Bengals, their O-line coach, Frank Pollock, he was his O-line coach in Dallas in 2015, 2016, and 2017. Then you got the fact that Lyle is a former LSU Tiger, as is Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Not a fan. Not a fan. I thought you were going to be aggressive, Mr. Grier. The word aggressive was being thrown around. Well, if the word aggressive was being lived up to, there's no way he'd be seeing another team right now. Not a fan of that. I've liked all the moves, other than, them letting Mac Hollins walk. But now, I liked all the moves, but we said that the tackle position needed to be addressed. I still think they're going to address it. All right? I still think there's going to be a veteran coming in. I've been pretty adamant that they need to add a couple vets. They've added one with Connor Williams. They're going to add someone else. And then you never know what they do in the draft as well. But, maybe I did it to myself, right? I told everyone, hey, Austin Jackson, he's going to stick because of his athletic profile, right? So maybe they want to see him at left tackle. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it. Or maybe they want him at one of the tackle positions. So if Armstead comes in on left tackle, they shift Jackson to right. If Collins comes in or Trent Brown comes in, they keep Austin Jackson at left. I don't think they're gonna have him at guard. Especially, I don't think they're gonna kick Connor Williams at the left tackle when he's made his bread and butter at guard. So yeah, right now in terms of the offensive line, that's where they're being a little too hesitant. You're being a little too patient, waiting on Terron Armstead to set this market. And now the worst of it all is Deshaun Watson. He's informed the Panthers to just not too long ago. He informed the Browns earlier that they are out. And it is now between New Orleans and obviously the Atlanta Falcons. And what lets you know the Falcons are a real dog in the fight is you go look at their roster and they don't have very much. But the hometown, boy appeal is real right now. So, I kind of think we're damned if we do, damned if we don't with Terron Armstead right now. That's where I'm at. My issue is they've opened up enough cap to take on Deshaun Watson. So Armstead could just say, okay, I'll resign. And the first couple of years are just going to be, we'll backload the hell out of the contract. Or if Watson walks away and goes to Atlanta, they've opened enough cap to bring Armstead back either way. That's what I'm worried about is they've opened up enough cap to sign Watson, and then Armstead's going to say, okay, let's make it work if we backload it, push the money back. And then on the other hand, if Watson doesn't work out, they've opened up enough money to bring Armstead back. So it's I feel like we're in a lose-lose situation right now. And yeah, Florida born. Let's talk about this for a sec because you make a good point. I did want to address this. And we'll get into all that other stuff because I'll go by everything that happened today piece by piece. And then I'll open it up to you guys. Watch Mr. Chris Grier shot Bambi's mom. He did something. He must have been out hunting deer because he wasn't hunting offensive tackles today. That's for sure. But Florida Born, what you said is kind of the same. Um, it's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Baker Mayfield. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa had to put up with this for about 10 months. Baker Mayfield out here cracking down and falling apart after 10 hours. I mean, you can say what you want about Tua the player, but you can't sit there and say he wasn't a professional. Now you've seen how Baker Mayfield, who's been in the league for how many years, handled this situation. Tua put his head down and kept working, and he still put his head down and kept working. Shout out to Nick Hicks and perform. And shout out to Lynn Bowden, who's right there working his ass off with them. And shout out to Nick Hicks, because everyone wants to just pigeonhole him to Tua, but no one wants to talk about how he produces all pros like Dalvin Cook, who has returned from a very significant injury and plays at the level he plays at. So, shout out to Nick Hicks, man. Like I told him on Christmas when we talked, like I told him on New Year's when we talked. Shout out to Nick Hicks for not only being a good friend, but also for taking care of our quarterback and trying to get the best version of him out there. Can't wait for year 3. Like I've said in Twitter Spaces, like I've said up here, I'm privy to videos that aren't even public right now with Tua, and the torque looks like it's coming back. So we'll see how that translates to the football field. But shout out to Nick Hicks. Shout out to Perform. Shout out to everything that they do, not just with Tua, but NFL wide. So good stuff, man. Remember, they don't just go look at the Buffalo Bills. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary perform. Dalvin Cook perform. Georgia running back coming out this year, James Cook perform. Right? So, you look at Jordan Scarlett, former Gator back who was with us last year, perform. So, but shout out to Tua for having for just not allowing that stuff to tear him down the way it tear down Baker Mayfield. So, and he had to put up with it a lot heavier and for a lot longer because we all knew they weren't going to. Deshaun Watson wasn't choosing the Browns. Like I said, I believed it was going to be the Panthers, and then once Atlanta came into play, and he said he personally reached out to them, I said, Jesus, Atlanta's for real here. And the fact that Atlanta's down to the final 2 with that roster right now, like, I don't even know what I'd pick apart if I was Atlanta. There's like a few players on the team that are good, but it's not very good. So, gonna be interesting. And now he's gonna take the weekend, so that could prolong Armstead's market. We might not even get an Armstead. It's because if you guys don't know, another thing that, so this isn't helping us right now too. Atlanta pushed back Matt Ryan's roster bonus that was due today to Tuesday. So what does that tell us? Basically, Deshaun Watson and his camp have let the Saints and the Falcons know, Monday by the latest, basically. So, Trevor, Brandon, why hasn't Cordell Patterson hasn't signed? What if he's waiting on the Atlanta move right now? Right? So, just some interesting things. This is playing out, and it's just I don't know. It's just it's just slow right now. We all want this domino to fall, and like I said originally, right? Here, hold on. Here is here's the irony of the situation. At one point, a lot of people wanted Deshaun Watson. Now, a lot of the people, those same people who wanted Deshaun Watson, but now want Terron Armstead, they have to wait for that Watson domino to fall. And by the way, can I also talk about this? So, as people know, me and my wife, we frequent Orlando. I'm actually going to be down there in May. And because we own, our family owns 2 different properties down there. And one thing I love about going to Florida in particular is so I've been on like a diet spurt in terms of pop, like in terms of intake for like the last while or whatever. Whenever I drink pop, it was diet or whatever for like the last long time. And we're not going to get into whether it's good for you or not. All you bubbly hipsters can like your Michael Bublé drink all you want. That's cool. Logan, you know I'm talking to you, brother. Love you, bud. The one amazing thing, though, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? The one thing I would always look forward to is when we go to Walmart or Publix or Target, y'all with that pineapple Fanta. We don't have this up in Canada. Y'all are so blessed down in Florida to have it. And guess what? They just released it in Canada. And now, like, it's bottled in Canada, so it's not like imported. I'll tell you this normally like a case of Coke or whatever is like $4.99, right? A case of this Fanta is like $7.99. I digress. Y'all don't know how blessed y'all are with the pineapple Fanta. It's like my favorite drink ever. And I've ended like my I don't know. My wife would know how long I've been drinking Diet Pop. It's been like 6-8 months, something like that. I deaded that because pineapple Fanta showed up. And I will say it's not as sweet. Like it's not as overpowering sweetness as y'all have down there. But goddamn, it feels good to be able to share. We may be behind in the times, baby, but we finally caught up in the right area, and it feels good right now. I'm telling you. So I just had to get that out, man. Because I'm telling you, the trick is you put it in the freezer for like 30, 40 minutes, get to that point right before it freezes. You crack that bad boy for dinner or whatever. Like I'll have a pop with dinner. Like this is still my dinner pop. And it's $9.49. So like I'll stick around and stuff like that. So I just put it like I'll drink some of it, put it back in the fridge or whatever. And bro, this stuff, bro, whatever that crispness. Shout out to Fanta. Where's it? Yeah, I'm gonna stop with this. I think he paying me. All right, I had to get that out. Hey, yo, I gotta say, because I see it popping off in the comment section. As much as I've been down, especially since I've been married to my wife, man, like Florida, like COVID hit us hard, man. Because before COVID hit, we would come down at least twice a year, right? And so actually, we're gonna be down for my daughter's birthday. That's the game plan. We're gonna go to Disney for her birthday, and as much as I've been going down there, especially since I've been with my wife since 2012, so especially since 2012, right? As much as I've gone down there, I've never had a public sub. All right. And I'm gonna be having my first public sub, that chicken tender sub. It's going down in May because there's actually a Publix right by us. So it's going down. It's going down. Your boy's gonna have, and be on the lookout because I am gonna be taking a day to go down to meet up with the boys that perform. Hopefully, link up with Tua. Maybe he'll go live for a little bit while I'm on site or whatever while I'm down there. But maybe I'll bring them public subs. Maybe I'll show up with but I've never actually had them. I remember last time we went down in 2019, because long story short, when like people have heard this, have listened to me, I was in the hip hop industry, and one of the artists I manage, we did music with Nipsey Hussle. So I was actually in Orlando in our spot with Nipsey. RIP, marathon continues. When Nipsey lost his life, when it was taken from him way too prematurely. Yeah, I'm getting chills with it, man. That was like one of the nicest guys I've ever met, man. When we were when we were down there, like that's giving you the time period. I asked my wife actually because she did go make a Publix run. I'm like, yo, grab me the Publix sub or whatever, and she forgot. She came home. She's like, oh, baby, I forgot. Blah 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 blah. We went and got Chick-fil-A, so I made up for it. But we're getting that Publix sub this time. Don't worry, it's going down, baby. And if it's that good, your boy's sneaking them back home on the luggage. So RIP to Nip. Marathon continues, baby. That man was a real dude, man. Real dude. One of the tracks we produced, actually, it's called Proud of That, featured Rick Ross, the artist I managed, Jigs the Flyer, out of Connecticut. His producer alias Jiggy Hendrix. So if you ever want, go check that song out. I'll plug it. We also did a Nipsey track with Sade too, so with the Sade sample, so it was pretty nice too. We did a couple pieces with Nipsey. So yeah, go check that. Proud of That by Nipsey and Rick Ross, produced by Jiggy Hendrix. Go peeps it. Plug in the old stuff, baby. Anyways, back to football. How did Fanta lead me to plug in Nipsey? I don't know, but RIP, marathon continues, baby. So yeah, y'all are blessed for the Fanta, and I'm about to find out how blessed y'all are with the public subs. So I never go off the rail like this. I had to go off the rail like this because Wylan. I know it's crazy. I've never had a public sub, so let's get into it. Let's get into this. So I'm gonna open it up to you guys like I have the past couple of days, because because I've been doing it while we've had it open. Shout out to the homie Showtime dropping the eyes. Yo, bro, why you got to do that? Now you're making me open up Twitter before I start getting into news here, bro. Showtime out here. There ain't nothing on these Twitter streets right now. Other than the AFC West is crazily stacked. All right, let's do this. Let's get into this so I can open up for y'all. By the way, guys, y'all are rolling with me. We've gained over 110 new subscribers in the past 3 days. Let's keep it moving. On our way to 8K. Let's get to 10K by the regular season, or at least by the end of it. Start making moves. Let's get into these 5-digit numbers. You know what I mean? Let's get up there, baby. Let's extend the power of the voice of this channel. Let's get it there, man. So shout out to everyone. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new, man. Bless up for y'all spending some of your Thursday night with me. You spent some of your Wednesday, your Tuesday, your Monday. I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, thank you each and every one of you who took the time out to either wish my wife a happy birthday yesterday or to donate in my wife's name. She woke up a very happy woman today. So thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. Y'all are some special people. Special people. All right, let's do this. So we're gonna get into the first move of the day, which was the Dolphins just made really minor moves today. Nothing really of big significance, which tells you they're waiting on something. Former 49ers Trent Sherfield, sorry. Ooh, pardon me. Sherfield to the Dolphins on a 1-year deal per source. A reunion with Mike McDaniel, Wes Welker. 1-year deal. Obviously, they lost Mac Hollins. Maybe they plan for Sherfield to be in a gunner role to take over Mac Hollins' role on special teams. Appeared in 17 games and 1 start in 2021. 9 passes caught for 87 yards and a touchdown. He was a UDFA out of the 2018 draft class. Obviously he started off with the Cardinals for his first 3 years. Then he went to San Francisco. Now he's with us. And that's the thing. Going all the way back to 2019, he's at least played 190 special team snaps or more. So he's kind of like a special team specialist. So, and obviously they brought in cornerback Keon Crossan, who was also a special teams specialist. Yeah, they're kind of filling out I'm telling you, they're waiting on the tackle market, and we'll get deeper into that. But for those interested in Sherfield, 6'1", 219, again, just another addition as they try to, obviously people forget our special teams dip last year from the year before. So they're trying to get the special teams unit better. Although I think keeping Mac Hollins would have been the ideal situation. And I think Danny Crossman is more of an issue coaching. So, They try to get the offense better. They're trying to get special teams better. You know, I'm expecting special teams contributions. I'm not expecting the world from Trent Sherfield. So let's see how he is on special teams. Um, you know, it's you can tell right now McDaniel clearly has a say on it, especially on the offensive side of the ball, which at the same time we got to be asking, okay, what about the offensive line? Is Grier stepping in when the offensive line is concerned, saying I spent high draft picks? Because like I've said before, we even hired Mike McDaniel. I've heard Chris Grier is very stubborn with his draft picks. So is this, you can do whatever you want with the personnel, but the offensive line, hey, we've spent high picks in the recent years. We want to see what you got. I hope not. And Connor Williams, they're going to add a tackle, and Connor Williams changed the shuffle at guard. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, Austin Jackson has made sense, but when you start talking about Solomon Kinley, he's more of a power gap guy. I've said that from the get-go when we hired Mike McDaniel. People have asked me about Kinley up here multiple times. That's what I've said. And my concern with Liam Eichenberg is his lack of his athleticism, his arm length, obviously. You saw how fundamentally and technique-wise he wasn't very good last year. His anchor wasn't very good. His base was very shoddy. And, he just doesn't have a ton of athleticism. That's why when people are like, oh, plug him at right tackle. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now he's got to learn to do everything with the right side of his body. It's not just like that, especially when you're not like a really good athlete. So, but, coaching can fix the fundamental and the technique stuff, but coaching cannot fix the lack of quickness to the outside and into his first kick, into his initial kick slide. It will not change his arm length. It will not, anchor will be on him. So coaching can only do so much. Shout out to the homie James Steele 999. He said, "Reason I love your channel. Keep up the great work. We all appreciate what you do. Do you think we'll get a new right tackle at any cost, even trading up?" I don't know. I think we're going to get a tackle. I still think we're going to get a tackle in free agency. I really do. I really, truly believe we're going to get one. Chef Jew, shout out to the homie Chef Jew, Mod Squad, in effect. He said, "Hey, reason I got you and the wife on Miami Dolphins public subs when y'all come to Miami fan. It's on me. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate you, Chef Jew. Chef Jew been around for a minute. Chef Jew, one of the OGs around these parts, always tries to show love to every single channel. Chef Jew is one of those guys who he supports everyone. And, he's just a good dude. And I remember, especially back in the day, peeping his Instagram and checking out like the pastries he'd make and the food he'd make. Some good stuff, man. But he's just straight up just a good dude. He always supports everyone as much as he can, always stays neutral, just always a good dude, man. So shout out to Chef Jew. Showtime up here trying to get the who's coming to Miami. Showtime. Why are you trying to get me going right now, bro? So shout out to Trent Sherfield. Good acquisition for the special teams unit as they continue to piece that together. As I said yesterday, it's clearly evident, and you got to respect it. They're trying to keep the defense together, and they're re-signing Brennan Scarlett to just and again another 1-year deal, right? We only got about 30 some odd players under contract, around 30 players under contract next year with over like 120 million in cap space against the current cap projected. So a lot of just 1-year deals, right? I still think they're going to draft a linebacker. All these 1-year deals with Roberts, but hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They think they can get what they got out of this defense over those last 8 out of 9 games. Take away the Tennessee game, they think they can get the defense that they got. So let's see what they do. Because hey, here's the thing: if McDaniel says, "Bring your whole unit back, pay Ogba 2," and Boyer comes out and he falls on his face, and he lets us all know it was Flores and Gerald Alexander pulling the strings just by how Boyer falls, you know what McDaniel's going to say? "Okay, we did it your way. Now let me bring some of my guys in. You saw me bring Madison and Surtain. Now let me bring some of my guys in to take this over. And that's what the move's going to be. That's what the play's going to be. So, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they think they can get back what they got out of those last 9 games. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't knock it. Listen, I can't knock anything except the lack of tackle activity, but at the same sense, I know why there's a lack of tackle activity, and we'll talk about it. But I know why there is. So, like, I don't like it, but I understand it. Now, Collins is under their power. I ain't giving passes for Lyle Collins going to Cincinnati first. Sorry, just not. And we're going to get into it. Don't you worry. But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know what? Let's get it. Let's get into this. And I got a little video from Cameron Wolfe I want to play for y'all. So, listen, as y'all know, Lyle Collins did get released today. And Jeremy Fowler of ESPN put out at 6:04 about 4 hours ago now, and in 1 minute, exactly 4 hours now. Now that Lyle Collins will be a free agent, the Patriots and the Dolphins are 2 teams to watch. Both have showed interest this week. Bro, if he would have been going to New England for a meeting, I would be going through the roof right now. No word on Trent or DJ. I would be going through the roof right now. I would be losing my mind. Xavier, the cuts aren't happening yet because over the cap hasn't accounted for Alec Ingold's numbers as well as Trent Sheffield's and Scarlett's, but those are going to be minor, right? And we still have 20. Let me see here, $23.2 million in cap space before you add in Alec Ingold's numbers, Brennan Scarlett's, and Trent Sherfield's. So what does that take us to? Maybe 18, 17? So I think they're waiting. If they got to put the money up to go get Taron Armstead, names will get cut. If they're going to be going after a tier 2 guy like a Dwayne Brown or a Trent Brown or an Eric Fisher, then they don't have to cut much money. That's what they're doing. They're waiting for the tackle market to play out, which, I mean, you're waiting too long. Lyle's right in your lap. Go make it happen. And so thank God he's not meeting in New England because I'd be losing my mind right now. I'd probably be coming to you live from a car right now trying to cross the border to go catch up with Chris Grier if he was in New England tomorrow before coming to Miami. You got to get him to Miami, and you don't let him leave. And now I'm worried for what I'm about to show you. So about 25 minutes after that tweet, Barry Jackson went ahead and tweeted this out. He said, even though Dolphins and Lyle Collins' camp have been in contact, I'm told that the Bengals have been more aggressive, and Cincy is where he's visiting. Y'all remember Chris Grier when he was at the combine said he was going to be aggressive? Why are we trying to get to the Super Bowl and the team that just got to the Super Bowl is being more aggressive than us? Yeah, they may have tasted it, but we should be more aggressive for our desire to, because we haven't tasted it in so long. This is like, I'm sorry. We're dealing with the blind side right now. The left tackle is oncoming traffic. Yes, Armstead's top 3 in the NFL. Yes, he's an elite pass blocker. Yes, he's an elite run blocker. Yes, he's a freak athlete. I get all that. But he's also going to be about $22.5 million at least. And He's playing with everyone's feelings. It looks like we are second option at best. Clearly, his heart is still in New Orleans. Why is it not a full court press right now? This is the equivalent of a left tackle for 31 other teams in the NFL. We just happen to be the one with a starting left-handed quarterback. Why is this not being prioritized a bit more here? Grier better not be playing this bargain bin shopping shit with names that matter on this market. It's one thing when you play it with tier 3 guys or bottom of the tier 2 guys, but when you start playing with tier 1 guys like this, I don't get this. Get this man into Miami and do not let him leave. This is unbelievable. So I still believe we're going to get a tackle. Don't get me wrong. I think we're going to get a tackle. They're going to add at least one more veteran to this unit. Starting veteran. Hey, maybe they miss on call. Hey, go get me JC Treader with the Collins money and go get me Eric Fisher or Trent Brown on a 2-year deal with an out after 1 year. I still think they're going to get a tackle, but right now one of the premium guys is staring you down the barrel. Why are you doing it? And I ain't trying to hear about no cap nonsense after the New Orleans Saints a couple weeks ago were like $76 million in the hole, and now they've cleared enough cap to bring on Watson or re-sign Armstead or potentially both. Because they're going to clear cap in the Watson trade, and that's what Armstead's going to be waiting for in the money department. They've already got enough cap to fit him under. Now, if they start trading Ryan Ramchuk's contract, which is rumored to be a part of it, or they trade one of those defensive contracts that's worth money, and Armstead says backload it, so push the money and we can deal with it in a couple years. Let's make a run with Watson. What are we waiting for? Or if Watson doesn't go there, they got enough money right now to re-sign Armstead. We're literally screwed either way, I think, with Armstead. So what are we waiting for? Why are we playing twiddly dinks? Why are we being softer than baby shit when y'all told us we'd be aggressive? I loved your Wilson move. I loved your Edmonds and Mozart move. I love your Ingold move. You've gotten all the other moves you've made have pretty much been a knock out of the park, other than letting Matt Collins walk, and now how you've handled the tackle market. Connor Williams knocked it out of the park. But how we've handled the tackle market and letting Matt Collins walk have not been good moves. Now, I said I wouldn't start being critical or panicking till after, the window's open for 48 hours. So they got the 4 p.m. tomorrow to impress me. And it's a Friday. Bring me some good news. So, I don't know. Where's Sean Tunsil? Sean Tunsil, are you in the comment section? Are they making a move for your cousin right now? Like, what's going on, bro? Let me know. Because your cousin's market's gone quiet. And I'll take him back at the rate we're going right now. So I know but I think he restructured his money. Yeah, he restructured his money yesterday. He restructured his contract, converting $7.85 million salary to $16.815 million bonus with $1.035 as his new salary cap, figured down to $17.7 million from $26.1 million in 2022. So he restructured. So he's staying in Houston. So there you go. Tunsil's out. Oh, there you go. Sean showed up. Attaboy, Sean. So is he staying in? He's staying in Houston, I guess. Hey, Sean. He restructured. He ain't moving. Shout out to the homie Sean Tunsil. He's in the comment section right now. He is of relation to Laramie, and he's a Dolphin fan. Shout out to the homie Sean. So, yeah. Hey, I don't know. Like, you got to give me something here. We cannot go in with the same unit, and I'm not trying to go in with Connor Williams as the only vet here and you draft someone else. I'd be fine if you added another veteran, you drafted someone, and only 2 guys from last year's line started. I'd be fine with 3 guys from last year's line have to start, and you got 2 vets. Ideally, I'd like 3 vets on the line. But we'll see. We'll see how it rolls. It's just kind of inexcusable, man. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. And this is what Cam Wolfe had to say on the situation for you guys. Let me play this for y'all. And he's been telling y'all what I've been basically telling you about the second tier. He says at the end. It cuts off at the end, but he's basically telling you the second tier could be options. Yeah, you leave Hunt at right guard, Jeremiah. He's going to become an all-pro at right guard. Like I said, you saw by the end of the year how good he was at right guard. He's going to be a better guard than tackle. Trust me. He's going to be an all-pro at guard. I agree with you. I don't want Eric Flowers. We don't need
the free agency with more cap space than any other team. They've been active signing 15 players, but that biggest need, offensive tackle, is still not signed. They have been looking, and La'el Collins was just released by the Cowboys. That's a name they've thought about and talked about a lot over the last day. They're going to be very interested in signing him. The problem is there's going to be competition. As my colleague Mike Garafolo just reported, the Bengals are a team to watch there. I've also been told the Patriots have had conversations there. So it'll be interesting to see how aggressive the Dolphins are, but they would definitely love to get La'el Collins. Another name, Teron Armstead, they've had interest in him. The problem is teams have been realizing that Armstead's priority would be going back to New Orleans, and so that's holding up the market quite a bit. So if they don't get Collins, they don't get Armstead, they're still going to be in the market for a tackle, but it may be something more in the middle to low tier market.
So there you go. They're still going to be in the tackle for a market. It's going to be just middle to low tier. That's where stopgaps like Trent Brown or Dwayne Brown or what's his face or Eric Fisher might come into play. So they're interested. Now, guys, if we could wake up tomorrow, he could complete his interview with Cincinnati and they could announce at night that he's coming to meet with us. That could literally happen. That could literally happen tomorrow. We just got to make sure he leaves Cincinnati. Someone needs to go do something, go put some X-Lax in La'el Collins Skyline Chili. Someone needs to do something. Bro, I'd be flying him in right now to Miami. Yo, come live the nightlife. Let's go get some drinks. Let's talk. And then seal it the next morning over eggs Benedict and breakfast. So we'll see how it all plays out. Personally, I wouldn't be letting this guy leave the city if he gets here. Hey, what if we end up with Trent Brown and Eric Fisher? Or what if we end up with, Trent Brown and either Treader or Bozeman at center. I don't know. We'll see. They're clearly interested in the center because we know they're in the Gents. And now, here's another thing. If you are a patron, you remember I knew there were 6 teams interested in La'el Collins. I knew 3 of them, right? Going back to a couple days ago, I know we were one, obviously. I knew the Bengals and the Broncos were the other 2. Now we know the Patriots are the 4th. Now it's just all about we got to find out who those other 2 teams are. At least 6 teams are interested in him, which makes me wonder if he's going to go and make his rounds. Like, I know Dwayne Brown was supposed to meet with Seattle today. Last I checked, there was no happy birthday, Sean. Happy birthday. Everyone wish Sean Tunsil a happy birthday. Shout out to you, homie. I hope, hey, bro, for your birthday, I hope they fix the O-line. I'm praying for it. I prayed for my wife's birthday yesterday. I pray for your birthday today. Happy birthday, Sean. Appreciate you, homie. Been supporting me since I started this. So, since I started this channel. So, because if people didn't know, actually, guess what, guys? I believe me and EM's first show. Let me see this. Hold on a sec. Me and EM's first show was in March. So let's see this. Hold on a sec. Episode 1. Just clicked with me. All right. Oh my God. I'm looking at our old thumbnail. It's got like Ryan Fitzpatrick on it. Oh man. Classic. Hold on a sec. Let me open this. Let's see. When was this streamed? 1 year ago. This was, if I remember correctly, it was March 18th, I want to say. It only had 447 views, our first episode ever. Wow, we've come a long way. I appreciate. We got 670 of you in the room right now. My first ever episode had 447 views. And all it says is 1 year because I streamed. But I'm pretty sure it was let me see this. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm pretty sure it was a year ago. Like tomorrow or next week. What's it called? And bro, it is because guys, the first episode is literally called like free agency recap and what's next for the Dolphins. Oh, there you go. XL found it. March 19, 2020. I got to go live on Saturday for a little bit. It's the 2-year anniversary. There you go. Thank you, XL. Appreciate you, homie, for getting that. I was trying to find it on my mobile. Appreciate you. So there you go. March 19, 2020 was the first ever episode. That's in 2 days. Scotty Joe, EM would go off. Oh, bro. People don't even remember. EM used to be on screen. If you want to go back and find EM on screen, go back to the early episodes of Inside the NFL and you will see EM on screen. And he would angle the camera up at him and he would always point down at it. Classic, guys. If you have never seen that, y'all need to go back, man. Those are that's old times, man. Oh man. And my beard was like because I remember that was like March 2020, so COVID was like fresh. So go check it out, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'll be live on Saturday then at least. I got to go live for at least an hour. Now that I know that. Yo, Larry. Remember Larry? Dude, Larry, do you remember when you came up after our I'll never forget. Larry comes up after like day 3 of the draft. I'll never forget this. And he had his like top 100 players. And he's just like, he's like, I tore the list up. He's like, they just went a totally opposite direction. And now Larry didn't have his channel yet and stuff. And then a couple months later, Larry opened up his channel and such. And let's be honest, Larry was the pioneer of the purely panel show. And a lot of people out there rely on their content solely on panels. And, Larry started that. So shout out to the homie Larry starting a panel movement. I know he saw TD and Finside the NFL. We would invite you guys up here. And then, he made a show of it. He made a brand of it. But now you see a lot of people, mainly 90% of their content is leaning on a panel, right? But Larry was the OG originator of that. Let's fully lean on a panel. And you know what, man? Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. The BYOB Saturdays on FinFans panel. Those, no disrespect to anyone, but no one's replacing that panel show and that kind of format and what we used to do over there, man. There was, man, that thing was me and Pete like squash beef on FinFans panel. Like, man, a lot of stuff had happened on those nights and stuff like that. So the Saturdays, I'd watch a movie with the wife, and then people would hit me up and be like, "Oh, we're on here, we're talking about this." I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll roll through," and then we'd go through, and Larry sometimes would he'd be like, "Yo, I'm going to bed. If anyone wants to come up," and then, shout out to Josh, the homie Josh, when he fell asleep on a Saturday night FinFans panel, and we all dipped down and left him up there snoring. Classic times. Good times, man. Good times. So, yeah, man. Wow, 2 years almost in 2 days. That's crazy. So we'll do something on Saturday for that. And guys, obviously, the big and go follow FinFans panel, guys. The originator of the panel content show. Go follow him. Ian Rappaport. Obviously, if you were living under a rock, if you didn't see it, but all of us saw it. The Raiders and the Packers. Davante Adams, 5-year deal worth $141.25 million, and I believe it can get up to like $153 million if certain incentives and numbers are met and such. But people are like, "Oh, they only got a first and a second." Yeah, that's because the money they had to pay. And obviously he reunites with Derek Carr, who he played with, obviously at university. And I was just trying to find the guaranteed money for it. I forget what the guaranteed money. Oh yeah. Oh no, I haven't seen the guarantee yet, but it is a $28.25 million per year average if you were to average it out. I don't know if anyone has a guarantee, throw it in the comment section. I actually have not seen what the guarantees are. So if anyone knows the guarantee number, throw it in the comment section because I haven't seen the guarantee number. And that's obviously why they didn't give, a whole ton away, right? Like just a first and a second. If anyone knows the guarantee number, throw it in there. But yeah, shout out to Sean Tunsil for taking us down that trip down memory lane. Appreciate you. So here's the interesting part, because a lot of people are like, what about Aaron Rodgers? How does he fit in all this? Well, here's the bad news for those people thinking Aaron Rodgers might be a little mad. Ian Rappaport said while Aaron Rodgers was negotiating his contract, he knew Davante Adams would never play for the Packers again. The situation was too far gone. Something had to give, and when Adams informed Green Bay he wasn't playing on the tag, talks got fired up. Now Adams will be on the Raiders. So he knew. So all these people thinking he's going to be hurt and he wouldn't play without him, $50 million a year, you playing for that bag. Sorry, bro, I love you, B, but this is business. 50 million? Damn. Some of y'all would stop talking to you. I'm not saying I would, because I definitely would not stop because I'm a mama's boy. But be real, some of y'all out in the comment section would stop talking to your mama for $50 million a year over like the next couple years. Let's not all lie. I ain't lying though. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a self-admitted mama's boy. So, but he knew. Rodgers knew and said, "F it, I'm going back. Throw me the bag." Shout out to the watch mister. He says, "I hate that we don't use our draft capital to make splash moves and acquire serious elite talent. I hate Chris Grier." You know, my biggest knock with Chris Grier, and this is how I view it, he always gets, like, he's always receiving the picks. He's never moving them. And I agree with you to an extent in the sense of, I get the sense of he always feels like he can't be viewed as someone who gave up too much or, he possibly lost a trade. It's like you go back to the Wolves, right? The reason why Tampa Bay moved up one spot to acquire Tristan Wirfs with San Francisco was because we were trying to move up, but they wanted to make us pay to make the move off Javon Kinlaw because they believed Javon Kinlaw would not get past the Dallas Cowboys, right? And they were asking, obviously, for our for that late first rounder we had in the 20s, and they were asking for a fifth, and we offered, as well as I believe we had a day 3 pick on day 2 involved. But the killer is they wanted the 3rd round pick that we used on Brandon Jones. They wanted that in the deal, and that's what basically stopped us from moving up for Wirfs, was the Brandon Jones pick. Now, Brandon Jones has worked out, but that's basically what ended up stopping it, was inevitably that pick. It's just like people don't realize when we took Robert Hunt at 39 or whatever it was, Robert Hunt was being targeted heavily by the Baltimore Ravens. And when we took him, the J.K. Dobbins, because people, if people go back and do their homework, everyone remembers me and EM were pushing. There were multiple players who were pushing. I was pushing Tristan Wirfs, and I was pushing Jonathan Taylor, as well as Curtis Weaver, who we ended up drafting. And this is before we got into like big boards and stuff. We both pushed Antoine Winfield, and we both pushed Raekwon Davis heavily, and obviously we both pushed Tua. And Raekwon Davis, that was actually not originally, that was going to be the J.K. Dobbins pick. But the Ravens, with Mark Ingram on the roster, made the move. They liked J.K., and it was kind of like a up yours to the Dolphins of, you took our guy in Hunt, we take Dobbins. So, yeah, and we wanted Antoine Winfield Jr. super bad, Scotty Joe. I remember when me and EM, when we were doing the mock drafts on TD's channel before we opened up Inside the NFL, we were taking Antoine Winfield in our mock drafts, and me and EM on the, we were banging the table for him when like PFM had him ranked in like the 200s. Like, we just loved Antoine Winfield. He was good. So drafts, that's why drafts has continued to be, especially for Inside the NFL, did pretty good last year in terms of the vision. Now it's a new challenge with a new coach and trying to get down the vision and the athletic profiles. What's the athletic profiles isn't really hard. It's why the vision and what they want to do to lock it in, what they are thinking with this department. So the last one was just, if you knew football pretty well, it was pretty predictable what we're going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see. That's why I said, I wanted the off season, especially free agency, to play itself off. So I really start committing till, I knew running back and wide receiver would be probably in need by the end of free agency either way, whether they were both day 3 picks or one was a day 2 pick, or hey, if someone falls at 29 and they're in love with him enough and they take him there. So, but now I wanted to see how the rest of it played out, like with Ogba's contract and the ends and stuff like that. So, but with Davante Adams now, you got to think all the weapons going on. So that's why I think they wouldn't make a move for Davante Adams. First of all, they're not going to pay him $28.25 million a year. Second of all, they're not going to, for some reason, Chris Grier doesn't like trading first round picks. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So we'll see. I just think he doesn't want to get labeled as he paid too much, or he doesn't want to ever give the impression of someone else beat him in a trade. I don't know. That's the only thing that really honestly makes sense to me. I mean, if anyone else got a better explanation, I'm all ears. I'm open to suggestions. But that's the best I could decipher as I've thought about that, because I have thought about that. I've thought about that, especially at the draft. Why do we sit on our hands? We've had this plethora of capital. And by the way, I'm dropping the link in the comment section for some of y'all that want to come up. We've had this plethora of capital over the last couple of years, only to not use it. Like what? Why? You know what I mean? So, I mean, we used it obviously, but I mean, use it to move up and get blue chip guys, whether they're proven vets or guy you really have high grades on through the draft process. You know what I mean? That's where it's kind of been like, try and go for those sure bets, those blue chip prospects you have, or those veterans who have already been proven that you can move. I've heard if they're going to trade for a receiver, they're in the market for a receiver that hasn't been re-upped yet. They want a young receiver that they can pay in a year or two. That's why the names that were floated around that I mentioned yesterday, though I told y'all to take all those names with the biggest grain of salt in the world. You know what I mean? So, there's gotta be a point where you just gotta say, screw it, I'm down to pay the premium. When Flores was here, the word on the street was, and the word that was behind in the back alleys was, y'all were willing to pay the premium for Watson. There's going to be other players to come up that let's see if they'll pay the premium for. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it plays out. Really not a ton going on right now. On the Dolphins side, obviously we're waiting for the Deshaun Watson domino to fall. Robert, let me know. Hit me up. What's the bet? Obviously it's slow just because they're waiting for everything to play out right now. They're just waiting for it to play out, and we'll see how it rolls. All right. Homie, showtime. John, what's going on, boys? What's up?
What's going on, Reason?
How you guys doing?
I'm doing
man.
good,
Haven't been on the YouTube streets, but make appearance to yours.
Yeah, you're too busy trying to run these space streets, bro.
It's crazy, man. I have some YouTubers looking for me.
Well, who's looking for you, bro? Who's out looking for showtime?
I don't know. I keep hearing it's a lot of folks. Man.
Bro, you let them know.
I'm not hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really. Just go on Twitter, and there's always a space with 100 or so people in there at least, and you're right there. So, why? What happened? Was it over some of that drama that was? I don't want to get into that drama live, but
I'm not even speaking about that because I don't know if my name was called, but I mean, I know that I'm within that group of people that they're probably talking about. But I just tell them, hey, man, just say my name directly, like Candyman. That's all.
3 times while staring into the mirror, bro.
We'll do what we have to do,
bro. How are you feeling about the offensive line right now? Shout out to Kingsley305 and J Love and John.
For me, as far as I know, a lot of people are upset, but when they signed Frank Smith, I just thought like, okay, they were going to focus on development. I keep hearing they're trying to get another tackle, but Chris Grier, he's being stingy with picks. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. That's what I heard with Collins.
Yeah. But the other thing people have to take into consideration, like, you don't want them to just have a big splash and he gets like suspended or have some type of issue. Yeah. We have to be careful with that signing.
Oh, for sure. What are y'all thinking? What you don't think we're gonna? So you think they're gonna draft a guy or stick with the guys we have? You don't think they're gonna splash on a tackle?
I think Armstead is holding everything up, man.
Yeah, but see, here's my thing. We all know he's staying there. Like they've created enough cap where even if Deshaun doesn't go there, they can pay the man.
And that's the problem.
But I don't think it'd be smart. They don't have a quarterback. Why would they
But
pay
what
him?
if they try and bring back Winston for the cheap again?
No, I hear you, but why even entertain watching?
No, I'm saying what if he picks Atlanta?
Oh, I think he's gonna go to Atlanta too. It
Yeah,
just
no, I'm
makes sense.
saying if he picks Atlanta, right? They got enough money to keep him there, is what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. Another person told me that like if he just says I'm not gonna stay, then Miami is gonna be number one apparently. But I don't know. I don't like all this diva stuff. Like, oh, I gotta make a decision like I'm LeBron.
Yeah. This Watson thing. Like, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see how what's his face? The Falcons pushed back Matt Ryan's signing bonus from today from tomorrow to Tuesday
Right.
to accommodate this. I'm like, bro, all you're doing is holding up the market for everyone else. Like this guy, man.
But reason, let me ask you. This guy had a year. He
Yeah, he had a
didn't
year
know
to
where
think
you wanted to
about
go.
this.
You know what I wanted to tweet out,
Fuck.
Showtime? Bro, because I know we're all men up here, so we've all dealt with it. And I know some of us are married up here with children. Y'all know when you ask your wife or your significant other, for the women that might be watching, like Callie Girl and Tilly, shout out to them. You know when you ask your wife, yo, baby, where do you want to go for dinner tonight?
boy.
I don't care. You choose. Is this where we're at with Deshaun
Yo,
Watson after a year, bro?
Don't get me
Yeah.
started on that.
That sounds about
Don't
right,
get me
man.
started
I'm
on
like,
that.
yo,
That's
this man's like, bro, I'd never
That's a
ask this guy
dark-
where he wants to go
that's
to
a
dinner,
dark
bro.
topic, bro.
Like sabotage. Like it's crazy how you sabotage the Browns overnight, bro.
Bro, props to my quarterback
For not
for
folding.
being
Yeah.
concrete, bro, and like
you know
John said,
what's
for not
funny?
folding, bro.
I told a lot of people, I was like, if Watson did that to any other quarterback, they would not take it. And I
Nah.
said that for a while, and now people are seeing the repercussions. Like, yo, people feel disrespected. You can disrespect everybody like that. I think it's gonna be cool,
Yo,
regardless if you
Showtime.
think he should take the bull crap or not.
You know what I was told privately, and I never really put it on Patreon or like Twitter or anything like that. I just there's a ton of stuff you just keep to yourself or whatever. One thing, and you just mentioned something, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because you're right. Stuff I was hearing was like in the NFL circles, a lot of people like weren't feeling a great way about, a lot of people viewed it as you don't come for another man's job like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, because you look at all these positional groups throughout the NFL, right? Even if they're not in the same group, especially in the secondary, even if they're not on the same team, a lot of it's a brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I know the reason Harbaugh backed off of the Raiders was because of Richie Bisaccia was his friend, and he didn't want to get it. He wanted him to finally get a head coaching gig, and he thought he earned it after the appearance in the playoffs, and it was his boy, right? And he just didn't want to step on toes, and but Watson was just all like, yo, like Tom Brady was like, fuck them kids, Watson was out here like, yo, fuck them, I'm just me, you know what I mean? And hey, you know, trade clause, you got the God-given right to choose where you want to go, and I kind of blame his agent a lot for that. I don't really blame Deshaun Watson, because that was his agent. I don't care what anyone says to me. Clearly, Florio's source was his agent. You know what I mean? Like that was his agent.
a lot of these guys are connected to agents. That's why they get the direct source of information.
Yeah.
But I don't think people realize the Watson effect. You're gonna have people wanting your job that already have a job. Like that can have a nasty effect.
Well, look at how Matt Ryan's cool about it, yo. Matt Ryan's dealing with like an absolute champ too. We got to give him props. Like he's basically, they've been in contact with him for a couple of weeks about this scenario. So, like, I think if they had a good roster Showtime, this would be a wrap. This would be a wrap.
But I think with Matt Ryan, he gave it all. He gave his all to that city. So,
but if they had a
younger guy though, they're not taking that crap.
If they had more than Kyle Pitts though, if New Orleans roster was in Atlanta, this would be a wrap. It wouldn't even be a conversation, because the only reason Atlanta's sticking around is because of the hometown tie.
Yeah.
Imagine if Watson mentioned the Cardinals. You know what Kyler Murray will be doing on social media?
Oh yeah, Murray would lose his mind.
Like people need to understand, like this is real life. Nobody wants somebody coming for the job, bro. Like people got families to feed.
Exactly, bro. And reputations and such, bro. Like, look at how badly they went after Tua's trying to sink him to prop up making the move, bro. People don't realize that a lot of that was played by the agents. But yo, Robert, you came up here.
Yeah, man.
What's your bet?
So if Teddy Bridgewater takes over the starting job, I have to wear a dress out in public. Or Estefans has to if he doesn't.
Hold on. If he's injured, what happens
No,
if Tua gets injured?
Injury doesn't count.
Okay.
So my bet's Estefans is going to be wearing a dress, but one of us will be wearing a dress.
I mean, I don't, Bridgewater. I don't think he's going to be starting over Tua. If they really believed in him that much as a starter, why'd they only sign him to a year contract?
I agree.
You know what's funny about the Bridgewater narrative? You could see that, like, it's so obvious now. It's like you could spin that for anybody. Like, if he was gonna be that, what everybody's saying, he would have been that already. I mean, how long has he been in the league? Like,
bro, you know what the funny thing is? That move is supposed to be taking literal as, he's gonna be the starter. That's what that means, is he's eventually gonna be the starter. Yet all these other teams meeting with Deshaun Watson, there's still people out here trying to convince you that we're still in the running.
Oh, that shit's so annoying.
Because it's not supposed to be taken literal that Chris Grier said we closed the door on that. All of a sudden, those words aren't supposed to be taken literal.
Yeah, man, I've gone at it with those fans,
bro. Like, dude, you can't have one and not the other, bro. Like,
the reason I'm at this point, like, how am I supposed to convince you to be a fan of the team? You know, nobody has a gun to your head to say, hey, to support the team.
Yeah.
And Tua is a part of the team.
Exactly.
At that point, if you can't wrap that around your head, you can easily switch teams. Yeah. I told everybody, hey, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of Atlanta jerseys and start passing them out at games. I'm going to help people out.
If you get rid of half the toxic ones, man, I'd be happy about it.
So would I.
But think about it. Why are you forcing yourself to be a Dolphins fan? You don't even believe.
Yeah. Why can't we have like the Purge Dolphins edition?
Oh, that's what I'm
saying.
That's what I'm doing on Twitter, man. I'm purging. It's fun.
Yo, just have like a Watson, like a Tua hater meetup at Hard Rock, and then we roll up. Just
that'd be fun.
Everyone, they show up. It's an empty parking lot. Like, what's going on here? And the boom, here we go.
I was asking that today. I was like, you know what? Like, are you guys trying to do something, or like
that's great.
Wild, bro.
It's all the Dolphins fans.
It's ridiculous to the toxic levels that people are literally, burying themselves with each other in terms of they'll never have good relationships with each other all over, whether it's Tua or whether it's, because let's be honest. There's the far right and the far left. The far right are the people who take objectiveness out when they evaluate Tua, and they're just purely subjective, and they'll follow blindly. But then on the left, there is just, they will hate no matter what. He could come out and have an MVP season, and he could take us to the Super Bowl. But if we don't win that Super Bowl, or even if we do win that Super Bowl, they'll find someone else to credit.
You know what's funny? People don't even know who they're really beefing with. Like, I'm not a YouTuber, but I know a lot of the reporters. But I'm not a YouTuber. I tell people all the time, support Reason or whomever, But like, these fools, they go crazy, and they don't. And when they figure out who they're like, they want to backtrack. Like, it's pretty crazy, bro.
Bro, honestly, man, everyone knows I support Tua. Me and EM started the Tua train on YouTube. Okay, that's fine. All right, I support him. But when you watch my film breakdowns, when you hear my takes on him, I try to be objective as possible, I go back to the Giants game. The guy had like an 80% completion percentage, and I was still telling people there's something not right now. His accuracy is not right. And people were trying to come at me in the comments. I'm like, watch. And then you watch the next couple weeks, his accuracy was dipping week by week. And I even suggested, is his finger still bothering him? What's going on right now? Is his ribs still bothering him? And it dipped. And so I just try to be objective as possible. Listen,
bro, it's not like Tua.
What was the reason for the dip?
But it's not like Tua can't take criticism. It's just the people that are just far left, and they just want this kid to like fall off a cliff. It's like pretty scary.
And let me add one more thing. They're profiting off of it also.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I don't want to bring that up, but that's another thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I'm not going to speak on another man's pockets. You know, here's the thing. Okay, with Tua and what we've seen right now, you know, it's clear that. First of all, you know, I've been telling people if it takes a year, you're going to have to come back from a torn ACL. What's it going to take to come back from that type of injury? And I think, you know, I've been shared videos privately by Perform. I'm seeing the torque coming back in Tua right now. So, you know, I'm seeing things that I like. Yo, he's people just, they're so premature. And if you go back to 2019, I said this from day one before we drafted Tua. I said, with the quarterback position, I give 3 years. By 3 years, and this is before we drafted Tua, I will find out what you are. I will have a good idea of what you are, whether that's injury prone, not worth where you were taken, what's mechanically wrong with you, what you haven't got better at since you come into the league, what you still need to work at, and how bad and how big of a red flag it is of those things you need to work at, et cetera, et cetera. I said, I give you 3 years. And so that's why I've said on stream, man, like this is the year where even for me, a guy who started the Tua train on YouTube and who's tried to be as objective, but also tried to be supportive as possible for my starting quarterback, because I don't understand people who get up in the morning and start hating on the quarterback first thing in the morning. Like, yo, touch grass, make some eggs, make some bacon, kiss your wife, and live your life a little first, bro. I don't get people who do that shit. But year 3 is going to be big. And I think all of us who even support Tua have come to the acceptance of, if we do not see like as much as people may not want to believe it, you saw progress in year 2 that you didn't see in year 1. It's just there were still areas he still needs, like reading all 3 levels consistently, stopping the predetermined reads more at the line of scrimmage. You know, it's fine to predetermine your reads, but he was doing it and missing wide open reads way too often when he was doing it. You know, there's things making the throws at all 3 levels more consistently. You know, he can make them and he can make throws. You know, one thing I'll say is year 1, you would get 1 or 2 throws a game where you'd be like, yo, year 3, you got like 3 or 4 of those at least a game. Right there's progress,
Right.
okay?
Right.
We saw him make throws in year, you know, that I go back to that throw against Waddle on that post, right? Against against the Ravens. Right?
Oh,
When he dipped it in between the coverage, when he threw it in between the coverage, you know, and Waddle turned his body because he threw it under the help over top. Yo, he wasn't making that throw in year 1. I don't care what anyone tells me, he wasn't making that throw in year 1.
You're
so
right.
there's progress. You got to watch the film and you got to look at it in comparison, right? But there's at the same time, there's still things you want to see improvement in. But my point is, I think even people who have fully supported this kid realize year 3, you got to show it for us, right? Like, you know, this is a make or break year for Tua, right? We all
100%.
have come to that term because we got 2 first-round draft picks next year. We can draft the guy. I've been telling y'all the name to watch is not Watson for quite some time. I've been saying the name to watch is Lamar Jackson.
Which scares the crap out of me even more.
Okay, that's the name to watch now. If Tua starts falling on his face, that's the name that's going to start pop everywhere, okay? Because Ross is still infatuated with him, has a former MVP under his belt, and Baltimore is cringing at paying him $40+ million a year after how Tyler Huntley played last year. So that's the name to watch. And right now, yo, here's the thing. Just like with free agency, with Tua this year in this new offense, what's so wrong with wanting to watch it play out? What's so wrong with wanting to watch him see what he can give us for 1 year under a competent offensive coaching staff? I think that gives us all a better grasp at what the player is after year 3, but also that gives us a better evaluation in the end. So what's so wrong with that right now, especially while he's on this? It's not like we're having to pay him $20 million or $30 million right now.
People think it's a waste of time. That's why they don't think his ceiling is top 10.
I don't know.
How much of that do you think is because of Tannehill? I think most of the
I do think a ton of it is post Tannehill stress syndrome, PTSD, bro. 110%, bro. 100. You're 110% right.
It's disappointing. Like I don't want to.
Yeah,
be,
bringing
right?
down another QB
And TD
because
knows, and
another
TD knows
QB
I love him.
failed.
TD knows I ain't got nothing but love when I say this to him. All right, but TD, he's one of Tannehill's biggest supporters, and I know he says this is why he's so critical on Tua. But hey, if you were willing to give Tannehill 7 years,
You can give.
is it
Tua
really
3
asking
years.
much of you to give Tua 3 years? I don't think it is. And TD knows I ain't coming for his neck right there.
No, I don't even.
I'm just saying that's what it is. That ain't coming from a place of hate, bro. Like,
I
and
don't
I'm
even
just gonna
think
address
TD's
this
the
probably.
problem.
I want everyone to hear this privately, okay? Me and TD had a talk after all that drama went down, okay? While people were going up here on YouTube, right? Okay, talking about this over and over again and trying to get content out of this. All right. Whether for the right or wrong reasons, whatever reasons they had, while people were trying to get content out of it, I was not. I had no interest. I talked to Nick Hicks privately. Okay, first. I talked to TD privately. Me and TD talked. TD told me he did, we just had our private conversation. We hashed it out. He told me he was going to be reaching out to Nick Hicks privately to hash out what happened between them. So as far as I'm concerned, it's settled. It didn't need to be talked about for hours and hours and hours on end on all these different channels. Grown men things. I picked up the phone like a grown man because guess what? All these people were out here talking about it, but I'm the only one who had a relationship with both of these guys. In whatever sense of this word, me and TD, we're not super tight. We get along. We squashed our thing. We get along. But me and Nick are super tight.
Yeah,
So
but
I
I'm
talked
cool.
to both of them. Hey, I'm no, and I'm not. This isn't dissing anyone. I'm talking more about the YouTube community right now. Okay,
I'm saying
this is not Twitter because YouTube people were out here having these long ass streams, just like going at people who they don't even know. All
I
right,
heard.
and they don't even
It's
know
annoying,
they don't
man.
even know Nick Hicks. They're speaking on someone you don't know, you have no relationship with. I know both of these guys. In the YouTube community, no one has a better place to actually have a stance to say something with that than me. And like a big boy, I put my big boy pants on. I called Nick. I called TD. TD understood where I was coming from. I told him where I was coming from. We had a great conversation. I ain't gonna lie. We had a great conversation.
But do you know what he said? He called us roaches, bro.
He did.
Oh, I don't agree with that, bro. I don't agree with that. I'm talking about strictly Nick and
I know.
TD right
But
now.
look, I'm not gonna go X-rated because
I do not agree with all that shit.
I
I'm on
blocked
Twitter on my boys. I don't agree with that shit. But I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's why when everybody was screaming, I didn't scream at him. I was like, TD, who called you? Because I know you called each other.
Yeah.
And then he got all defensive and he dipped out and said he got kicked out. Nobody kicked you out, bro.
Yeah.
No, I didn't call him till
didn't.
yesterday. Yo, I don't want to turn this into like we talk about this for a long time. I just want everyone to know. Your boy Reason on the YouTube. Hey, Twitter's its own world. I keep telling all y'all on YouTube, Twitter's its own world. No one wanted to listen to me. Y'all found out that it's a different world. I've been telling y'all this for how long, and y'all found out the hard way, and it's all good. But on this YouTube streets, no one had more ground to stand on and settle this between those two than me. And I talked to them, bro. And I'm just talking about Nick Hicks and TD right now. All that other extra nonsense, I don't agree with the name calling and all that shit. Like even me and John Christolakis, we hatched our stuff out in that space because I wanted to bring some positive energy, some positive vibes, and we got heated for a little bit in there too because it was just toxic that night, Twitter. But
I went to sleep, bro. I didn't have energy for that. It's like every day, bro.
It's worked out. There's nothing to worry about. I shouldn't even have been given it 10 minutes of my life right now. So it's worked out in terms of Nick and TD. So it is what it is, man. Like things were said that shouldn't have been said. Lines were crossed that shouldn't have been crossed. And, and it wasn't just about, and I'll tell people, it wasn't just about Nick too. I also told TD, about the Lynn Bowden thing. right? So it wasn't just Nick. It was, and hey, whatever, man, and it's all good. Everyone settled it, man. Like, it's all taken care of. People didn't need to go have these streams talking crap on Nick or talking crap on whatever, on whoever. And I don't
Yeah, but
appreciate that shit,
my
man.
my
Because
pro-
I'm
my
gonna tell you this.
problem.
I'm gonna send this message out to the YouTube streets right now. Nick Hick is my boy. We talk multiple times a week. My loyalty lies with Nick Hicks.
I
And
mean, he's my homie too, man, and people don't know that.
I don't fuck with people speaking sideways on him, especially who don't know him.
Yeah,
So,
bro, and he's a really nice guy, bro.
And people trying to just make it about Tua. Why aren't we talking about how he trains Dalvin Cook, who had a terrible injury and is an all-pro now? James Cook coming out of Georgia, one of the top 10 running backs in this draft. Both the running backs in Buffalo Bills trained by him. This guy trains all-pro running backs.
But let me say something. Well, what a lot of people don't know about Nick Hicks, like he'll go out his way and train young kids for free.
Yeah, man.
And when TD opening his mouth, like you're affecting his business, bro.
Yeah,
Nick is not gonna say.
We talked about that.
True story about Mr. Hicks. He trains my son. My son is like one of the best U10 soccer players in America. He's going to Spain next month.
Congrats,
he really does open doors for young kids between the age of 7 and 12 for soccer. And not only football either.
J-Love, remember Jordan Scarlett?
Let me just say this real quick.
He's been training Jordan Scarlett since high school, bro.
Yes.
Anyways,
but let me just say this real quick. But it's just like it's things like that I know about him that offended me with TD. I don't want to keep bringing him up, but it's like, bro, you don't know who you're talking about, who you're speaking about, how like his worth in the community, and you're just spewing stuff.
I didn't even know that either.
And my thing is, what everybody keeps saying, the energy you put out, don't be shocked that you're gonna get it back times 10, because you don't know who you're talking to. It's not necessary. A lot of people blocked you. Not everybody's going on your channel trying to attack you. You came on Twitter and tried to go to space and talk. And then on top of that, I don't know if you said this, but then he jumped into his burner account.
Nah,
it's like, bro,
I ain't trying to get deep into this right now, bro. Like me and TD talked about it, so it's settled between Nick Hicks, me, and TD. I don't agree with anyone being called roaches or anything. I didn't know all that went down. I don't agree with any of that kind of jazz. Because man, I've fallen back on Twitter over the last 6, 7, 8 months because it's been super toxic. I just go in, I do my thing, and I get out. Like even when I was talking about that tweet about people having mental issues who were calling Lynn Bowden a liar about the throw. I was actually talking about that Tunes dude. People were dropping diagrams of the field to show this guy that Lynn Bowden was telling, and Nick Hicks were telling the truth, and people were still out here trying to call Lynn Bowden a liar. And when that Tunes guy, I don't know who he is, but bro, they were dropping literally Google Maps of the field, and then diagrams of and their mother dudes were out here doing mathematics to prove, bro.
Twitter's a crazy
bro, people
place,
are wilding, bro. I can't get with that, bro.
Twitter's like the dark web almost.
Too much fucking time for that shit.
I can't get with that, bro.
Yeah, it's just strange, man. I've never seen so much, disdain for your own team.
A team
you're supposed to be a fan of.
I said this before, bro. I'll say it again. I'm not for everyone. TD ain't for everyone. You know what's crazy? Dudley's one of the nicest guys out here.
He's still not for everyone.
Dudley got haters, and Dudley not for everyone. That's just how it works, man.
But you can't say anyone's for everyone, dude.
Man, you can't. Yeah, man. And you know what? And
I think Dudley is a nice guy, but people get strayed by who they associate themselves with. So I mean, that's just it is what it is.
And you know what? I just especially on Twitter and YouTube the last couple months, bro. I just do my thing, bro. And I've found by doing my thing, I've been able to stay out of a lot of this nonsense. And now that this popped up, the only reason I actually stepped in is because Nick's my boy, and me and TD definitely get along. So, and we squashed our thing. So I just it was better for the community if we deaded all that in between Nick and everyone can have their feelings based off of what happened and what transpired, but for it to be a continuing back and forth that would have prolonged it, might as well dead that. If everyone's going to have their feelings on the situation, and that's cool, but for more wrong things to be said or, more bad things to be put out there, it was just better to dead that and everyone just leave it at with how they feel on the situation now, whether they don't like people or whether they like people, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some.
You took a
We've had some
approach because I got sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, man, we've had some. I mean, we still have great spaces and stuff. It's just that, like, I'll start getting all these messages and tags and stuff about a YouTuber saying something. I'm just like, bro, like. Yeah. And then when you see me go off, it's like after weeks of me hearing about it, and then people are like, "Yo, what's going on with Showtime?" It's like I'm just finally responding to everybody.
Yeah. No,
so,
it's just. Like, it is what it is, boys. We're about to hit an hour and a half. I didn't want to go down that route, but I just actually wanted to explain to everyone. I reached out to TD. He told me he's going to reach out and, settle things with Nick and apologize or whatever. So, you know what, man? At the end of the day, everyone can have their opinion on all of us in their own ways or whatever. But I would rather them at least hash it out than just more negative energy and more hate being spewed. And, because what's done is done. People are going to already have their feelings about what's done is done, right? What's done, people are going to have their feelings on it. Can't change the past. So the best thing you can do is try to prevent that from happening again in the future. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. My just thing is just like, stop looking for the energy, and if you get it back, it is what it is. Because there's a lot of new YouTubers that they're trying to start off hot, and I think they should, take a better approach and maybe follow your model. Not
I'm
try
gonna say this.
to
talking about the trainer of QB1 and bashing him for multiple hours. You better hope he doesn't become the franchise quarterback because you've buried yourself.
Boom. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So like, at least TD reached out and apologized and tried to work things out. Sitting up, and he didn't sit up on a stream bashing the guy for 4 hours. So you're gonna do that. Oh boy, it's you better hope you don't work out.
Did Tua ever end up working with Tom Holland at all? I know there's talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Tom House. I need to say this to make sure it's public that because some of the dudes that were bashing Nick, they wanted me to be on the network. Just know that's dead. So you know who you are.
It is what it is, bro. Yeah. People speaking out of pocket on people they don't even know, man, and getting in the middle of something when they don't even know both parties and don't even have access to both parties like that. It's just
but let's talk about these public subs you're about to get.
Yeah, those chicken tender subs, bro. They're getting real.
Those are delicious.
Sir. Those hit different. Get it,
bro. I can't wait, bro.
Oh yeah, I also wanted to tell you, man, I'm proud of you, man. I see your numbers going up, man. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate you, man. And that's also why, my people, like, I know we've talked about it, but I don't try to bring that nonsense. That's another reason why I stay out of that stuff. I ain't trying to bring that to this platform. My viewers, they don't want to hear about that crap. And I already feel bad that I've given this 10 or 15 minutes of their time. You know what I mean? I've robbed them of 10 or 15 minutes of football talk. So, but it is what it is, man. So, let's go through some final thoughts because we hit the hour and a half mark. Showtime, we'll start with you, buddy.
All right. I think they're gonna sign a tackle. Will it be who we want? Who knows? But even though I'm gonna believe in Mike McDaniel and what he's doing, and I want to see the addition of the draft as well, to see the roster as a whole before I start jumping off the cliff.
Yeah. John, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, just sign a tackle and a center, please. I'm getting kind of worried, but I'm still going to hold faith in McDaniel because he's the smartest coach we've had since God knows when.
Yeah.
Fins up.
Robert, your final thoughts.
Generally, like everybody else, man, I just want to tackle in a center. Other than that, just have faith and be a little patient.
Like, you know what I said today? One of the beautiful things about Lyle Collins is it seems like everyone's pretty united on that. And it's nice to have a united front for once. I'm sure once they sign him, people will start bitching about the money or something. So,
well, I mean, let's hope we get him instead of the Bengals.
Yeah, for sure. Or the Patriots. Kingsley 305, you're up, buddy.
Just want a tackle and a center, and I trust McDaniel in the draft. Fins up.
J Love T, you're up, buddy. Final thoughts.
Yeah, same old, man. We'll just wait till after the weekend is done. Hopefully Watson stop this circus show sooner than later.
God, please! I'm so sick of hearing about him.
Yeah.
He had a year to think about this.
Daryl, man, you came in right at the worst time, bro. We gave nonsense, and I've already, like, trust me, that is the last all of you guys out there will ever hear me speak on the situation, because I don't give that stuff usually FaceTime. But I just wanted to let everyone know the whole point of that was, like, I reached out to both parties, and both parties, we're gonna hash it out, so we're good. Daryl Wallace, go ahead, buddy.
Yes, sir. It's been a while, Reason, so it's great to be able to be on
Hope
your
you're
stream
good, bro.
again.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And God bless all you gentlemen that came up here. As far as my final thoughts are, I don't really have many of them, but it's just the crazy thing about this whole situation is a lot of people, as you all are probably familiar with, a lot of people say that it's, good for a quarterback to have competition. But in reality, with the year that the offensive line had this past season, to me, it's better if the offensive line has competition, because it's very important that they improve in order for the Dolphins to get to where we believe that they need to be and where they can be.
Yes, sir.
Prayerfully, I'm not going to jump off a cliff because free agency is just starting, but I don't want the Dolphins to have too many more days like they had today, and that's all I got. So, fins up.
Appreciate you, Daryl. Always dropping the gems when you come through. Guys,
Mr. Asshole Casserole himself,
Guys, I'm gonna be back tomorrow night, and we'll get back into free agency. Hopefully, we have a tackle signing, and then it looks like I'm gonna be live on Saturday for at least a little bit to celebrate 2 years of this show, because it'll be 2 years that I've been doing Inside the NFL on Saturday.
Congrats,
so
man.
We'll do something for that. I didn't even realize till today. So there you go. Guys, until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, I apologize for even all of us wasting our breath on talking about all that, but I just wanted to let y'all know.
Leave Reason alone, man. I'm the chaotic guy that'll deal with you.
No, it's all good. It's been settled. Like, in terms of Nick and TD specifically, it's been settled. I talked to both parties, and we're all moving forward now. In terms of everyone else and their opinions of people, hey, that's clearly a fluid situation. All right. So until tomorrow, everyone, stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. And as always, guys, fins up all day, every day.